1945. It might be backwards. May need to zoom out a little. But I promise you there's words here. There's words on here. It says constant comment. Constant comment. This is Tea by Bigelow. No, this is not in regards to a sponsored video from a tea brand. This is instead about why I bring up this tea bag. Bigelow was started in 1945. We are in not 1945. Nope. We are in 2022 and beyond. But they're still in business. Their CEO, her last name is Bigelow. Isn't that what we want? Don't we want to create a company that we can pass on to our family? Or maybe you want to sell it and it continues thriving on well off into the sunset. Isn't this the goal? To have longevity. That in 2022 and beyond, there are people like this amazing beauty here, although my hair is up, consuming this tea. This is my favorite tea. Bigelow, my favorite tea, y'all. How is that any different than government contracting? But the path, that door that opens up, how you've somehow come into knowing about federal government contracting, promises, hey, follow the middleman approach. This is so easy. You just connect two people, you make some money, rinse and repeat, bam, you're making all this money. It's so amazing. And other kind of avenues painted out there. But in reality, is that really the case? I'm sure a lot of other teas and tea brands have popped up, but I don't know how many have been around since 1945. I don't know. Maybe there's a ton. Who knows? What I know, I'm looking for a profitable business. Always. Because I have minimum 3 of them on the government side. I'm in the middle of forming 2 additional joint ventures. Profitable business model. And that's what today's video is all about. Part 2, y'all. Part 2. I'm going to pull up any kind of comments because I adore each and every one of you. I'm grateful to each and every single one of you. And I want to make sure that if you have any comments, that I am I'm able to address them. So hello, King 14, good night to you. And Babui, hey. Want to say hey to everyone that's out there. Hi, Chris. Hello, everyone. It's the only reason I'm looking down. So thank you all for watching. We're talking about build real wealth from government contracts, part 2. Our goal, the Bigelow model. They bring in over $100 million in revenue. Why can't we? The federal government spends over $500 billion a year. There's a lot there, but it starts with that strong business foundation. So here in part 2, I'm going to go into what is needed to have that strong business model to sustain it, so you are more like a Bigelow instead of the tea companies that I don't even know about. And you can substitute tea for coffee or pop or juice, sparkling water, flat water, whatever it is beverage you're into, alcohol, spirits, wines. I'm a tea person, y'all. This is how it is. If you're into tea, drop a comment, put tea. If you're into coffee, okay. No, coffee's great. So drink a lot of coffee. So like coffee and tea, there's this locomotion of caffeine, this energy, this explosion that's there that happens when you consume one or the other. And that's what's possible when you have a strong foundation as a government contractor, to build wealth through government contracts instead of a hobby. So the first thing that's really important is that when you make a sale, you need long-term revenues. So what ends up happening is we get focused on, there's this middleman approach, or I just want to be a consultant, or I want a contract or two, and this, I guess this is just what you do. This is it. And the amazing thing that happened is, okay, you got a sale. That's great. So there's this focus on sales, which is awesome. You have to sell. If Bigelow didn't sell, I wouldn't even be talking about them, right? You got to sell. But what happens is you sell something like one-time tree removal, janitorial work that happens maybe once a week or twice a week. And if this relates, if this really hits you, put yes in the comments. Definitely put yes. And I'm going to look down every now and again, just taking a look at the comments. So just be aware of that. Okay. And E. Delarice, happy Thanksgiving to you, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone watching. Perhaps you win a contract. Maybe it's a trucking contract, and you move furniture from North Carolina to Florida. It's a one and done. So you were able to get the sale. Maybe you went on SAM, maybe you went on Unison, maybe you wrote a proposal, maybe you hired somebody to do it, who knows? At the end of the day, you received the email that everyone wants. Your bid has been accepted. You are the successful proposer. And you won. And it's awesome. And you're excited. But it's a one and done. And that's it. Now what? You invoice. Maybe you wait 30 days. Maybe you wait 60. Maybe you wait 90. But how do you build a business off of that? They don't just sell one type of tea. They sell a variety of tea. When I went to Walmart to purchase this tea, because I love this tea, y'all. I travel with this tea. Walmart has like a 5-pack of this. And each of the tea bags is in its own little, it's not in a bigger container. And when you open it up, all the tea bags are there. So they have different options. They have different varieties. I'm pretty sure that they probably have relationships with restaurants and hotels. Who knows? They could have a completely other business line that we have no idea about. They could be selling combs in addition to this, right? Just rebranded under another name. Why? It provides them a solid revenue stream. It's not a one-time, hey, I purchased tea from you. And I don't know if they do this, they could take it to the next level and have a tea of the month club, tea subscription. Who knows? Maybe they got to deal with Keurig. Bottom line is, it's not a one and done. Got your tea out. That's not how they operate. So why are we operating like this? Why are y'all operating like this? I used to operate like that. So I get it. I understand. I used to do the same thing. I sold diversity and inclusion work. My first contract was a little under 100,000. My biggest one to date is 23 million with the FDA. And that excludes IDIQs, contract vehicles I'm on, qualified vendor lists that's worth $1 billion. It excludes all those. I did the same thing because that focus, that emphasis has been put, sell, sell, sell. You got to sell, you got to sell. But the trick in federal government contracting is not the sale part, y'all. It's not. You want 5-year-long contracts. You want ongoing revenues coming in so that the one-time sale, bam, 3 years from now, you're still receiving residual monies coming in. And it's not because of a licensing deal or anything of that nature. It's because it's a long-term contract. So trees are still being trimmed. Full-time equivalents are still working. Janitorial services are still being provided. You're still providing snow removal. It wasn't a one-time snow removal. It's something that lasts 5 years or 10 years, like Kimberly Kidd. I'll have to include the video in the comments. She is on a 10-year contract to provide a variety of services like roofing and painting and flooring and HVAC and other things I have no idea about. So that 9 years from now, y'all, when she looks at her company and they're responding to these task orders, they can say, man, we're still eating off of this. We got this sale 9 years ago. We're still getting work off of it. Isn't that what you want too? Well, the other approach is exhausting. It's very exhausting. It was exhausting trying to figure out who would buy my diversity training or how to make sure I kept what I had, and how do I grow this? Do I sell more diversity training? Do I speak more? Do I just sell more of this type of tea? Do I now have a smaller version, a bigger version? No, that's not the answer. It's not the answer at all. It's multiple year contracts. It's a big one in this space. I'm going to check out the comments before I give you more about this so you can see and learn how I was able to pivot. The same thing that you can do too. Good, George. I want that too. Yes. E. Delaris, if I'm saying that right, Alston. Yeah, multi-years, they're the way to go. Nick, hey, hi to you too. Hello, everyone. Coming to you live from my Michigan residence. Full-time residences in Florida, though. Registered voter in Florida, just putting it out there. So what's really important to sustain a business is, number one, you have to have ongoing revenues. And the biggest way to have that in the federal government is multi-year contracts. It's very important. The second thing that's key is you want repeat clients. So this is big. I was talking to someone not too long ago. They do anywhere from 10 to maybe $20 million a year in revenue. And they were talking about like these kind of bad clients that they have. Like, oh my gosh, they're so horrible. It's so hard to work with them. Oh, they're such a disaster. and that they were so relieved that they no longer have these clients. Now, I understand there are times where you may have to fire a client, or there's some clients you may like more than others. At the end of the day, it's your decision. You're the entrepreneur, I'm the entrepreneur, they're the entrepreneur. But the missing piece is flipping that from to this is awesome. How do we get more money from them? One thing I love that Grant Cardone says, he talks about who's got my money, who's got my money. And excuse me, there's this whole psychology around second money, that you buy my janitorial services, say it's the Army, chances are they're going to want to buy my janitorial services again. And maybe they also want to know, hey, do you guys do something with lawn work? Are you open to providing janitorial services at some other locations? So it's second money, it's additional money. It comes in different forms. For Bigelow, it could be I buy their Earl Grey, for instance. They have a flavor that has lemon in it. Second money, second money, second money, right? So in the government space, that is a huge objective. That once you win a contract, you're immediately thinking like a politician. I won. I'm the new mayor, I'm the new governor, I'm the new president, I'm the new city council man or woman. Now I got to work on my reelection campaign. So it's no different, y'all. It is no different whatsoever in terms of federal government contracting. Soon as you get in there, your goal is to get more and more and more work from that agency. Period. That is the objective. I'm going to take a look here at some comments. Get and earn that past performance. That's a really good point. That is a tremendous point. I want to just follow along with that. Let's definitely follow along with that point. In the federal government, past performance is super important, but it's not always required. I recently have a student in my paid GovCon Winners Ultimate Edge course, and she was taking a look at an opportunity, and she emailed them and said, hey, you want past performance? I don't really have past performance. What do you recommend? And they said, oh, well, that can't keep you from bidding or from us not selecting you. So getting the past performance is cool because it shows you as an entrepreneur, do you like this? Is it profitable for you? Is confirming that? Is this something you want to continue doing? As well as, gives you that past performance, but just know that, it's not always required, but it's great to have that past performance, because at the end of the day, you need ongoing revenues, you need second money coming in. The next thing that you need to have a profitable business structure is diversity with your clientele. It's vital. While the federal government is recession proof, it doesn't matter who's president, it doesn't matter who controls the House or the Senate. What matters is that you are set up so that the products and services that you provide are diversified. Because if all you do is focus in on 1 to 3 clients, like everybody recommends you do, 1 to 3 agencies, just pick 1 to 3, and just, I don't know, I'm rubbing my nose, like my curls are down here, but let's face that, my curls down. Like 1 to 3 agencies. Okay, what if you focus on Army, Air Force, and Navy? That's still all under Department of Defense. And what if some things happen with the defense budget? What about Department of State, USDA, FAA, Department of Interior, FDIC. So you're missing out. So you want to diversify your various government targets, as well as, which I'm going to tell you in a second, but I'm going to take a look at these comments. Are there federal contracts that are available for U.S. agencies located outside of the states? Yes. OCONUS, I believe is the acronym, outside of the continental United States. Yes, definitely there are contracts available. I'll just give you a quick one that I know of, and it's just because we like to, yes, thank you, Flawless Locks. Please hit the like button. Please, please, please do, y'all. Hit the like button, please subscribe, please share, please comment, hit the notification button, y'all. Please, please, please do all these things. So because we staff religious positions, I've seen a ton for priests in like Italy, Japan, religious positions, Italy, Japan. I recently met with a woman, her first name is Christine. Her and her husband own a company where they install like security cameras, and they do a bunch of security things for the federal government. She said she has, they have federal contracts in Guam and Japan. I know, for instance, USAID, they tend to have a lot of work all over the world. You'll see it, Africa, Middle East, all over. I have a friend who, I mean, way back before I really got into this, back when I was learning, he serves as a full-time equivalent for a company that provides like security services. So he's lived in Israel and all over the world. I don't know if it was for the same company or not, but wherever there is a federal government presence or need, I promise y'all, there's a federal government contractor, federal government contracting company who's being paid in connection to that. And this doesn't even cover the cleared work, the top secret work. I mean, goodness, there's a ton of that. Okay, great. Thank you, Dr. Virginia Lukier Johnson. She just pushed the like button. Awesome. Push that like, push that subscribe. I appreciate it. So, okay. So the other big thing with this, y'all, you gotta be ready for it. You got to be ready for what I'm about to drop. So we talked about a lot of amazing things. Next thing is diversification in what you offer. You start out, you're getting your feet wet, you're focusing on those long-term contracts, not a hobby, right? Because this is part two to this video of building wealth through contracts. That's what this is all about. The plan is you want to diversify what you offer. So perhaps you're focused in on, let's use Christine for an instance. She provides security services. Security. I found out from them that they had installed cameras for Crunch gyms eons ago. And they were just providing some really cool stories about that, right? So they have this history, 25 years of providing security cameras, all the back end, basically all the things that we don't really see, but you know, if y'all watch IDTV, they used to have that series, they may still have it, where they pull all the security materials. So if y'all watch that on IDTV, you know about security cameras, because there's always that gas station, they pull the damn material, or darn material, sorry about that, y'all. They pull the darn material, And then they're like, oh, the video cameras, they haven't been upgraded in 20 years. And the footage is all grainy, although it was pulled in 2021. Security is important. It's super important. And in today's age, there's no reason can't have amazing security setup, especially when you have someone like Christine. She's a beast at what she does. Well, the thing is, she also provides people full-time equivalents to handle making like ID cards, right? So it's still connected. They're not over here supporting a commissary. It's still connected because ID is connected to, they need to make sure that this person has the credentials to be on post, right? But you see the pivot there. And the same applies to you. Because with providing the people, it's easier for an agency to say, you know, we don't want to lose that person. We like Tom. We like to have the ID cards made. So that contract should be 2 years, or base plus 4, or base plus 3, or base plus 1. And so you get the combo, y'all, the combo platter. You get long-term revenues and you get the diversification. And you want to throw in a third thing, you get past performance. And that's what's cool, because that's what these big companies do. They're not just focused in on one thing. They may advertise, hey, we're predominantly in IT. That happened with someone who I'm mentoring. Excuse me. She was talking about this firm who staffed like lawyers and what else? Like legal assistants for a federal agency. And she had worked alongside with these government contractors. And so she had expressed an interest in that type of work. So I asked her for the name of the contracting company. Sure enough, when I looked it up, they brand themselves as, get this, y'all, an IT company. If you were to go to their website, you would not pick up on the fact that they're staffing legal positions for a federal government agency. You would think all they do is IT. But remember the business model, ongoing revenues. By somebody working for me for 5 years, I'm getting profits from a sale from 5 years ago every freaking month for 5 years. My gosh, bring me some more of this. And as I said, Kimberly Kidd's got a 10-year contract like that. These are not flukes. There's tons of these types of contracts out there, tons of them. So having that diversification is key too, because it helps kind of balance you out. So you may start out in janitorial, but then maybe you pivot to training. Who knows? That's the beautiful part of federal government contracting. People aren't like asking and wondering and being so suspicious. Like, I don't know why you're doing that. You know, agencies are pretty open, extremely open. I mean, I just thinking about the different things that my flagship company does and my other 2 companies are part of, no one was like, well, can I see your resume? Well, why are you trying to offer this? Nobody did that. And it's not because of who I partner with. Okay, so I'm looking down so I can check out the questions. Yeah, anytime, Chris, you're welcome. And thank you, Jerome. Again, don't forget to like, hit that notification button, share, comment. I'm so appreciative. I can't thank you all enough for being here. I'm going to drop kind of one more thing here. One more thing. Because to be like a Bigelow, I got to work on my being able to give this to you clearly. I got to work on those camera angles there. I promise you, it's constant comment. That's what it is. Constant comment. To be like a Bigelow, created in 1945, they make over $100 million. You not only need a solid business model, there's something else you need. So somebody wrote, we spoke about a year ago through GovFlex. Oh, that's awesome. Well, please feel free to, you can email me. Or if you're in my Facebook group, I'll make sure I share the Facebook group. I'm actually going to do that right now. If you're not in the Facebook group, I would love for you to join the Facebook group. It's an amazing group. You get lots of cool information. It's free. I have almost 900 members, which is crazy because I just recently started the group. So please, y'all, join. If you already are a member, put down that you're a member in the comments section. Okay. Yes, please do. Please reconnect. Please join my Facebook group. So here's the other amazing thing that's vital to all of this. You have to offer what the government wants. No different than Bigelow tea. I mean, maybe somebody is down for like an avocado tea. I mean, there's like avocado ice cream, and I saw something else really interesting the other day with avocado. I don't remember what it was, but it was not something I wanted to eat or consume. Didn't want to. If they came out with like an avocado tea, chances are it probably wouldn't do really well. I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe there's an avocado tea company out there who's just like crushing it. I suspect otherwise, but who knows? It's about the market. And the same thing holds true for the federal government. I know this is one of their top teas. I know this. And it's amazing. I love it. I love the fragrance of it. I love how it tastes. I love everything about this darn tea. And the same thing goes for the government in the sense of you want to offer what they are looking to buy, period. So even with the best business model, if you're like, but Kizzy, you understand, I got the best glasses. They need to get these. I'm telling you, the VA, the Army, the Navy, the commissaries, everybody needs to get this glass. It's the best glass. If they don't want your glass, they're not going to buy your glass. They're not going to buy it. You could have the best training. You could be the best staffing company. You could be the best surgeon. You could produce the best Humvees. If that's not what an agency is looking to buy, they're not going to buy it. So it's important to realize that the market dictates. I want y'all to let that sink in. I really want you to let that sink in because we're talking about building wealth through government contracting, not hobby, not some little middleman flip where you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to have to shell out money and you're going to be like, how am I going to get this money? I'm not saying everybody does that, but a lot of people will. Some people don't, like David. So you should check out the video that I have with David, the video with Kimberly Kidd, the video with David. I'm gonna have to cut and paste that in here. Just give me a chance. I can't multitask that very well right now. But David has done a great job on that. And I'm pretty sure he had capital to be able to do that, especially in the beginning, because he serviced private sector, state, and local in addition to the federal government, right? So this is about building wealth, not being in a situation where you're like, I can't believe I won this contract. This sucks. That's not what, I don't want anyone to have that life. I want you to have the life like I have. That is reaching and obtaining every goal that you have. I'm here in Michigan because of government contracting. It's not a flex. It's not some BS. It's the truth. I have 100 team members with my flagship company, 100. I'm just a young lady born in Southfield, Michigan, and grew up in a middle-class household. made a lot of mistakes. That's why I'm here. So y'all don't make these mistakes, because the goal is to build wealth, to have that company. Started in 1945, Bigelow. I started my companies in 07, still going strong. So then you're deciding what you want to do next. Do you want to sell? Do you want to pass it on to a family member? Do you want to bring on a CEO so you can pursue something else? Instead of, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? I still have to work, and then I can do government contracting. I don't know what I'm going to do. This sucks. This is hard. I can't get any contracts. I want it. And then it's like, all that just, whoosh. It's like, have a moment there, So let it sink in, that diversification. I'm going to take a look at these comments. Jerome, just joining live, already submitted registration, waiting to get started. Glad to have found you live. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jerome. Yes, that registration process, and actually everyone, I'm going to make, I'm going to make a cake. I ain't making no cake, y'all, because I got weight to lose, but I'm going to record a video where I not only register one, I'm going to register 2 companies on SAM, 2 of my companies. So I'm there with you all. I'm very well aware of your pains, frustration, joys when it comes to SAM. So I'm going to do that. So as you take all this in, I'm going to open up for questions. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to give you this rare moment to ask me some questions before I kind of hop off. So I'm only looking down to see if you have any questions. I will make sure that I share with you the Kimberly Kidd video, which I highly suggest every single one of you who are watching live, every single one of you who are watching the replay, that you watch the video. She also is a member in my Facebook group. I strongly suggest that you watch that, because her story is quite amazing. And she's creating this amazing business model, and she's going to be able to have choice. And that's what you want, choice. It's not to create a business so you just create a job for yourself. It's not to create a hobby. That's not it. To build wealth, it's intentional. It's not accidental. It's not for you to get in government contracting, so now you're in this position of, okay, I found the thing, I've found the buyer, I won the contract, how am I going to get the thing to the buyer? It's not for you to be in a position of stress and less than. It should be a blessing, not a curse. Not a curse at all. So I'm going to take a look to see if we have any kind of questions. Jay wants to know, do you train mentor? Yes, I do train and mentor. Somebody asked if you are a bit ahead. I'm already a registered. Oh, you're already in. Okay, cool. I will get on that. Cool. Glad that you are registered. So I do train and mentor, and I'm offering something special because of these amazing holidays. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, all of that, because it's Black Friday right now at this hour. So I have made slots available for my GovCon Winners Ultimate Edge class. And here's the thing about this. You get a coach. You get coaching with me live once a week. We typically are on from anywhere from 90 minutes to 3 hours. I'm working personally with my different mentees, helping them with proposals, bidding on proposals with them. We have, I co-teach it with Marcus, who's won about $500,000 in less than 3 months. He holds lives. He recently held a live where he allowed everyone to listen in on his calls to contracting officers and to different vendors. This is not only 3 months, I'm adding a 4th month. You get yours truly. This is a steal. It's $29.97. I promise you, not doing this again. The next time I release this, it will be way more money and it will not be live. So if you're ready to achieve your government contracting goals, to turn what you have into a profitable business, this is a step for you to take. So you get an extra month with me. There's some questions about the class, which I'm going to address here in a minute. I also am all about payment plans. Shoot, there was a time in my life I was so broke. I would get my little $25 from trying to donate plasma. Half the time they couldn't put my blood back in me, and then I couldn't donate plasma for like 3 months, and I was always pissed off. And I would take that money and buy my little slop for the week at Aldi's. So I like payment plans. Can you give me a lowdown in training mentor program? When does it begin? We meet Mondays at 7. So you'll join the current group. Everything's recorded. If you want me for you to wait and to begin 3 months from now, it's going to be a lot more money. Just letting you know. What do you recommend for someone who is registered in SAM and is ready to get started with low-hanging opportunities? Well, Dr. Virginia, yours truly, Dr. Park, suggests you buy my class. And I'm not just saying this as a ploy to get you to buy my class. I'm just saying it like this. If you want to take the slow route and the YouTube University, by all means. I love providing content. I provide and will continue to provide the type of content and the type of information that nobody else will ever dare provide to you because they can't. Because they don't have businesses set up like mine. They don't. I'll continue doing that. But with a mentor, with a coach, speeds up the process. I have mentors. I have coaches, which I think is very important. When you buy coaching, you want your coach to have a coach because you're always growing. You don't want someone who's stagnant. So if that's not a possibility, join my Facebook group. Learn from those who are there. But I'll leave you with this nugget. You want to focus on things that are considered low risk, where the evaluation criteria is reasonable, the deadline is more than 10 days, and it's something that you really want to provide that's going to be profitable. That's how you begin. Going on SAM. Sharon, what about notary and non-notary services like fingerprinting? Okay, so Sharon, yeah, the federal government buys both. And you may, and also it'd be cool if you could provide a little more context, because I'm going to go one route with this and I want to make sure I answer your question. And because I never want to make assumptions. So please, please, please clarify. And thank you, TechMates. I firmly believe this is the greatest channel for government contracting because I'm doing it, I'm in it. You know, we just won a slot in the qualified vendors list for FAA, and I think they have like $1 billion to spend on staffing or something. It's crazy. And we're one of, get this, y'all, 25 companies on this list, 1 of 25. So the federal government buys both. It's about, what do you want to do with that? In the sense of, will it provide long-term revenue? Is this something you can provide to the notary part, to a variety of agencies? Is it really profitable, or is it the race to the bottom? Because what happens with like notary services and like janitorial services and some like facility maintenance services and training, like leadership training, diversity training, it's a commodity. So they want low, right? Like a Flow Rider song. So they don't want to pay a lot of money because there's a ton of notaries, there's a ton of tree trimmers, there's a ton of leadership trainers and coaches, there's a ton of painters. So you would need volume in order to be profitable. So for let me go back to your question. And non-notary services like fingerprinting, So I know as a contractor that when my team needs fingerprinting, they go to like police station. So they're not going to a federal agency for fingerprinting. I'm not saying a federal agency isn't purchasing fingerprinting. It's about Supply and demand. Is there really a demand for fingerprinting in the federal government? I don't know. I suspect maybe not, but I don't know because I'm not in that space. I know that there's a huge supply for staffing. So I'm going to give them that. What do you need? What kind of staff do you need? What do y'all need? I'm going to do that all day, every day. I'm not saying you got to do staffing. I hope that helps, but please clarify so that I answer you appropriately. Okay. Babawi. Okay, cool. Thank you, Sharon. And please feel free to elaborate. To Babawi, does having government contracts in different states, acquire you to pay that state tax? How do you deduct or cut down on that tax? So the state tax piece only plays a role if, number one, the state has state tax. So, and I'm referring to people. If you're selling a product, so if I'm reselling tea, I buy the Bigelow tea, maybe I won something on Unison, and now I'm shipping 20,000 packets of tea to bureaus of prison in Indiana. I mean, I'm not really paying tax on that. There may be some legalities around that. I don't know. There may be, because I'm paying the rate that I quoted to the government is paying me the rate that they quoted to me, right? So is there really a sales tax element? I might need a professional on that one, but not exactly if I'm flipping tea, right? Now, when we're talking about people, if you have employees in the state of Indiana, yeah, you have to pay tax. You have to pay payroll tax. So you have to pay the different taxes required by that state. If you have employees in a state like Texas, Florida, Tennessee, and others where there's no state tax, then you're not paying a state tax. You're going to pay unemployment and you're going to pay federal taxes. So hopefully that helps. If you want more clarification, just please add in here. Dr. Virginia, thank you. I appreciate your honesty, offering the class for us to be coached. Of course, anytime. Sharon, I got you. Said, okay, great. Thank you. Jay, I work for the government. Is it legal to also be a contractor or should I quit my job? This is my answer. I like ask permission instead of forgiveness. Ask permission instead of forgiveness. Ask HR, ask legal. I have found that for some, they've received permission, but they had to, they could only bid at the at the state and local level. I have found some that they were given permission, but it couldn't be with their agency. There are those who don't ask permission and do it illegally. That's, between them and their higher power. I always fall back on asking permission instead of forgiveness, because I never want to end up on Army times, military times, Navy times, Air Force times, Washington times, Miami New times, because I've lived full time at Miami Beach. But I would ask and see what they say, because you never know. Never know what they're going to say. Okay. Jerome, best answer to the tax question is speak with a CPA. That's right. Don't get in trouble with questions on the employee state question. Yeah. For employees, you're definitely paying stat. You're paying state. You're definitely paying tax if you have employees. If they're 1099, you're not paying any tax. But if it's a product, that's, you have to find out about the sales tax piece. Jay. Oh, hold on. Delaries Olson. I'm currently selling medical consumables and medical supplies and COVID testing. Well, there's definitely a huge medical need. I have a great video where I interviewed Jerry. His company is probably going to do 10 million this year. And they sell medical things, furniture, ophthalmology setups and things predominantly to the VA. So yeah, there's definitely a need. So it's something to explore. Going back to your earlier question. Okay. The COVID testing, I'm not really sure what the demand is for that. And for the medical supplies and the consumables, it's really, again, about the agency's need. What is it that they're looking to sell? So, one of the things that's unique to Jerry is as follows. His company is on a couple of contract vehicles where if they say, like this is, this is a thing to strengthen your hand because I love lifting weights. And what will happen is my hand, sometimes the grip isn't strong. So I got this to help with gripping. So in essence, it is a medical thing. So if the VA, for instance, he's on a contract vehicle and say hypothetically the VA needed to purchase this, they would have to legally buy that from Jerry because he's on a contract vehicle where every time the VA needs the wrist and hand strengthener, they must buy from Jerry. So that's a benefit for Jerry because he has this guaranteed revenue, ongoing revenues, right? One of the big pillars we talked about for having a profitable business, building wealth. So for your question, it's about not only making sure they need the thing, but how often are they going to buy the thing? The medical supplies, the consumables, do they need the COVID test, right? I'm not sure. And also look at agencies outside of the CDC because a lot of people think, oh, health and medicine, and I'm going CDC. There's a bunch of other agencies in health and human services and the military, so don't overlook those. Okay, so, okay, I'm catching up with the remarks. Jay, last question. Is it true you have to be in business for 2 years before bidding for contracts? No. I don't know where that came from. I have a VIP coach. I mean, my goodness, y'all, I'm getting sleepy. Sorry, you all. I have a VIP student who said the same thing to me. Oh my gosh. It broke my heart because she's been in SAM for over a year and she was like, oh, I thought I had to wait. I thought I had to have this certification. And I get it, y'all, because man, there's so many things that people did not tell me when I first started out. There's stuff I'm still learning. Mama, debunk this myth now. You do not need 2 years. You don't even need 2 days. You just need to sell something to them and win the contract or get a simplified acquisition where they use a card to pay you. That's it. You don't need 2 years at all. Okay. Edela Reese, I'm a former GS11 contract specialist, and I left the government in 06. Okay, cool. Wow. 20 years. That's amazing. Yeah, definitely make sure you join my Facebook group. Babawi, thanks for the answer. I wanted an answer from more of a service-based approach. I live in New Jersey, but subcontracted, not my company, in Contract, California. Okay, cool. So if you're 1099, so let's say you subcontract your 1099, you filled out that W-9. There's no tax other than you having to pay tax, depending on the structure of your business. If you have an LLC, files an S Corp, you have an S Corp, you have sole proprietorship, things of that nature, right? Where it's advisable to see a CPA, but you're not like having tax deducted from the pay. When one is an employee, when you're a W-2, you fill out the form, tax is removed. And if you're the employer of that employee, you're paying a portion of their tax until they make a certain income. When they make a certain income level, then that tax decreases. Okay. So hopefully that helps. If not, let me know. If so, let me know. Okay. Ida Larice, that's been my hang up because of the vets first set aside. Yeah, so I would pivot or partner or purchase a minority share in a veteran-owned company. You know, there's other ways to play the game. I always look for those other ways. Just some things to ponder. Digital Fresh Customs. Sourcing textile products, a lot of manufacturers are GovCon bidders. How do you recommend getting around that? Sourcing textile products, a lot of manufacturers are GovCon bidders. So Digital Fresh, if I understand correctly, you're looking to source the textiles. However, the companies that you're contacting are already in the GovCon business. So maybe they have a cage code, or they also bid on opportunities for state and local. If that's what you're finding to be the situation, yeah, move on to something different. Sometimes it's one of these times where it's like, you can do it. Like in my early days, I would look at these proposals. I'm like, I can do this. I got a PhD in industrial organizational psychology. I can do HR. I can analyze data. I can do this. I can do that. And I won like none of these things, right? Because it's not about whether or not you can do it. What does the market need? Is it profitable? What kind of business do you have set up? Do you have a strong business set up? So in this situation, if the suppliers are already in the game, how are you going to be able to play in that game? There's not a space for you on like the first string team. There's just not a space. So you keep fighting for a space. I mean, one way to fight a space, you buy a company or you buy one of the manufacturers. The other way is you pivot to something else. One thing that I think is really remarkable in David's video, there's a long form video, which when you purchase GovCon Winners Ultimate Edge, you actually get access to the full length video. And he talks about his experience with janitorial work, and that he bid on janitorial work for like, let's say a month, maybe 2 months, and he never won. And he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm pivoting to something else. And so it's important to do that. Going back to the tea example, Bigelow started offering avocado tea because they want to jump on this whole craze of avocado toast and avocados, and nobody bought the avocado tea. Chances are you're not going to see that avocado tea anymore. I mean, I get it. It kind of stings, but you want to have a profitable business. You want to build wealth. So that's just my thoughts on it. Dr. Virginia, I listened to Kimberly Kids. Great. It's so eye-opening and informative. Awesome. I'm glad that you did so. These are some of my favorite interviews. I have a new interview coming up. She's a phenomenal woman who is her goal is just to help entrepreneurs. And I love that because this foundation is on business. It's not a middleman approach. It's not about the certification you have. It's not even about your experience. It's business model. If the business model does not make sense, if you don't have those ongoing revenues, if you're not diversified with the clientele, you're not diversified with the different products and services that you offer, then it makes it hard. It makes it extremely hard. If all you offer is janitorial services, what happened during COVID? You weren't bringing in any money. Is that likely to happen again during our lifetime? I don't know, only God knows. But I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to put all my eggs in a janitorial bucket. Plus, I don't like janitorial work to begin with, but that's for a whole nother life, y'all. So I know, look at Reed. Reed's like, finally catching a live. Reed, you better hop in with the question because I'm about to go to bed. Keeping it real, y'all. I'm tired. Just a little sleepy here. Here live in Michigan, it's so beautiful as I look outside, y'all. I wish I gotta get this sophisticated so y'all could see this, but it's so beautiful. It's like all these lanterns are lit up. They're all illuminated. So beautiful. If anyone has any more questions, please let me know, because building wealth through government contracting is very simple. It is. It is. It's easy to be distracted by the shiny, to be distracted by what people put out there, and to be distracted by the headlines, the billboards, the marquees. It's business. So all it is at the end of the day. Okay, I got a lot of thank yous. I appreciate that. I love that. It's very key. And what I put out on all of my content is what I practice. The examples I share are real examples. I have and had contracts ranging from a couple thousand, 23 million to the $1 billion QVL we're a part of. I have GSA schedule. I'm on 8A Stars 3. Actively bidding. I'm here with you. I'm in the trenches. I'm not a talking head who was awarded $350,000 in government contracts 3 years ago hustling a course. That's not me. It's not how I work. Please make sure you join my Facebook group. Please check out the Kimberly Kidd video. Check out my interview with David. They're amazing. I'll also share the link, my interview with Jerry. If you have any more questions, let me know. Okay, somebody said they emailed me. I'll get back to you. And some of the emails have gone to spam, spam, so I'll pull all those out. Yes, I do one-on-one coaching. I'm not cheap. I'm just letting you know, not to kind of come across like a whatever. We're on YouTube, like to be censored here. But I do offer one-on-one coaching. My one-on-one coaching ranges from $15,000 to $350,000, just a heads up. So I'm also going to put on here one more time that if you're interested in GovCon Winners Ultimate Edge, where you get this beauty live Mondays at 7 p.m., now is the time to join, because when I start putting this out again, it's going to be way more than $2,997. I promise you that. It's an amazing course. I have students right now getting their SDVOSB, getting their 8A, getting their Hub Zone, finding different opportunities, really understanding what it takes to find, bid, and win. Because I have students in the class who have won contracts. But what happens when you don't have that solid business model? Okay, I sold some tea. Great, I sold a couple tea bags. It's not a business. But Bigelow's mastered it. That's why they've been around since 1945. Because it takes more than just having a product or a service. It takes a lot more than that. So much appreciated, each and every one of you. But yes, I'll email you back. I'll put all of those things here in the link. Thank you all so much. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you comment, you share, you hit that notification button. And I have one thing before I go. My registration process says the EIN doesn't match. I call the person that's phone, says I got the EIN, I have to wait 5 weeks. Is that right? Not exactly. Did you upload the information, the evidence there? Did you send them a copy? I'm looking down, y'all, just so I can see the comment and be able to respond accordingly. Did you send them a copy of the form from the IRS? Okay, did you send it to them again? And lastly, did you create a ticket? Did you create a ticket? So yes to creating a ticket. There's a little bit of a delay. Okay, so you created a ticket. Is the ticket still open or is it closed? Oh, close after the call. I would create a new ticket. I would, first off, what Jerome said is spot on. You want to make sure everything matches. Okay? That if you miss, like this literally happened to somebody. They misspelled the name of their business. It happens, y'all. It happens. But that's the name of the business they have to enter into SAM. Or you're going to have to create a new business, get a new tax ID. So make sure that number one, the business that you have on the form is exactly as it appears. Number two, if the answer is yeah, it all matches, create a new ticket, because you're not going to have to wait 5 weeks just because you created the new business. Okay, so create another ticket. Also, did you by chance did you register your company for a business license? Because usually it doesn't take that long to get a business license. Usually you get it maybe in a couple weeks. So if you have a business license, that's additional proof. So open a new ticket, as long as everything matches, upload the document and any other documents that you have. Because this is another tip I'm going to put out there. Okay, it gave you a UEI, but got stuck on the cage code part. Yeah, because more additional evidence is needed. And I would create another ticket and provide additional evidence. The thing is this, there's two things here. Number one, when you're creating a business, it's really important. Listen, y'all, this is my view because this is what I do. To have a business tax license or whatever your county calls it or your city, it's really important to do those kinds of things because it just further validates you as a business owner. Just putting it out there. And it doesn't mean like you're paying the city or the county tax. It just further validates you as a business owner. It's kind of similar to what you see at like a nail salon that's usually hanging up. It's very similar. The second part is this. As you go through this process of SAM, and them saying, oh, it may take this time, it takes that time, it doesn't take this time. This is a realistic preview of what it's like to be a federal government contractor. And at the end of the day, to be an entrepreneur. And as entrepreneurs, we don't back down and take the first answer. It doesn't mean we're bulldogs and we're rude and we're mean and we're horrible people, because this is taxpayer dollars and we're helping agencies with amazing missions. That's not it at all. What it means is you persevere. You try a different approach. So I suggest, again, you open a new ticket and you send additional evidence. And especially when you call someone on the phone, if you don't get the answer that you like, you call again until you get the answer you want and the answer you like. I know it takes a long time. I'm there with you, Jerome, too. I have a colleague who finally got through. I believe she just got her UEI, and it's taken several months. I completely understand. I think her information was stuck. I got it. That's why I'm also going to record not one, but 2 businesses that I submit to SAM to get a cage code. I completely understand. I know for some it's taken them 3 months. So don't get discouraged. Don't give up. It really is a realistic preview into what it's like to be a federal government contractor. And the payoff is just unbelievable. It's life-changing. So is there anything else before I close with one of my favorite sayings? Because I know y'all gotta like, you gotta subscribe, you gotta comment, join my Facebook group, join GovCon Winners Ultimate Edge. Now's the time to act. Okay, I don't see anything else here. I appreciate each and every one of you. You are amazing. Amazing. You get a song. Amazing. So, y'all, everything is possible. It is. It's not just taglines, it's not some BS. It's real talk. Everything is possible. Stream started an hour ago. This is your usual stream time and day. It is not, because I don't always like rules. I always like to be planned. But maybe I create a poll to see what y'all would like. I just hop on. I feel like hopping on. That's it. So maybe I create a poll to see what you guys want for a day and time. I might do it on Mondays because that's what I teach. Yeah, I just kind of hop on as needed. I'm reading some additional comments, that's why I'm looking down. In addition to what Kizzy says, take the time to learn search strategies, Use the time to call subs to see and understand reactions. Build the brand for your biz while you're waiting. Jerome is spot on. It's definitely time to do that because it's being entrepreneurial. And then for you, Reed, yeah, I mean, feel free to email me or to message me on Facebook if there's a suggested day and time that I should come on here and go live. I really should be in bed, but I'm still in Hawaii time because we have an employee in Hawaii, and I was in Hawaii, and I'm still like 5 hours behind, and I'm working on getting back to East Coast time. And then as soon as that happens, I'm gonna end up in Hawaii anyways, because I'm gonna make Hawaii like my third home. So this is all good. This is all amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much appreciation and gratitude to each and every one of you. I just want to help y'all, just so you don't have to go through the 10 plus years of what I went through to get to where I am. Ooh, all the heartbreaks and proposals and scams and so much, y'all, so much. So, okay, you can still bid if you're waiting on your cage code, right? No, you can't. You can't boss hands. You can't, not as a prime. Not as a prime. Anytime. You're welcome for Reed for the answers. I will give you one little bonus though. I'm going to end with y'all. So there was this opportunity that came up, and my co-facilitator, Marcus, he had spoken with a contracting officer, and they were going to go with this company, but the company didn't have a DUNS number. And so for whatever reason, they said, nope, deuces, we're not going to do any work with them. So I encourage every single one of you to get a DUNS number. It's free. Do not pay for this. Get a DUNS number. I know that it's no longer required to be a federal government contractor, but the simple fact that this agency requires it, and we're not talking about a year ago, we're talking about recent. So I also encourage every single one of you. And so for instance, Reed or anyone else who's going through this process, you can apply for a DUNS number now. I would do that. Okay. The DUNS are out as a requirement for the government, but this particular agency has a different view. And it helps you on the private side too. Digital Fresh, I see a few people in the chat over at LinkedIn wishing everybody much success. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. So, yeah, the thing is, y'all, this is business. I share this with someone I mentor a lot. I'm like, this is business. Business is not black and white. Business is gray, and it involves money. Anytime money is involved, it's business. You know, it's one of the best businesses because the government always pays. They pay interest if they're late, and it is recession proof. So good night, good night, good night. And I love the last comment about boss hands. I feel you. I know you're ready to bid. I get it, boss hands. I know you're ready. So keep learning, keep coming here. Subscribe, like, share. Again, everything is possible. I'm going to end this. Have fun, y'all. Have fun. Good night, good morning. Don't shop too much. Except for y'all need to buy my class. I'm being so silly. Y'all don't need to do anything but be successful. Jokes aside, go Count Winner's Ultimate Edge. Telling y'all, now's the time. Bye, y'all.